It's the Old Firm derby tomorrow, and Rangers host Celtic in the second meeting between the two this season. Rangers are a whopping 14 points behind Celtic at this stage of the season. Ahead of the clash, Kris gave his thoughts on the manager and spoke about his future. In today's video, we will watch and react, all whilst going over all of the latest Rangers news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to cover in today's video, but first hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Rangers content. So this was Kris discussing the future of the manager.
There's a lot of Rangers fans said it's time up already. They're asking why Philip Clement is still in charge. And when you see what has went on in recent weeks, there is a lot of Rangers fans unhappy, and rightly so. You look at it's the 2nd of January tomorrow, and 14 points is a huge gap at this stage of the season, considering that they've only played each other once in the league. There's been a lot of change at Rangers, but you kind of get the feeling that there'll be change coming again. Patrick Stewart has came in, with other people at the hierarchy. They've changed things behind the scenes, but you can't get away from football clubs' function with what goes on the pitch, and it's not been good enough. You can change everything behind the scenes and start to build from within. Within Ibrox, within the training centre, but on the pitch, it needs to be better. And you kind of get the feeling that that's where it's heading. If Rangers having to win this game, even if it continues, they're away from, with 2 difficult games away from home after this game. You go to Hibs, go to Dundee, and Rangers away from 11 points have picked up from 27 available. I mean, it's no good enough. And you kind of get the feeling that the Rangers board, they might have made the changes behind the scenes, but moving forward, it might have to be the football department that are looking at next.
Following this, he spoke about the January transfer window and said the club need to strengthen.
I think when you look at James Tavernier, obviously injured now for a couple of weeks as well. They've already a patched up back four with the injuries I've had. I just look at Rangers. I don't really see any leaders in there, and I know there has been rumours of Nathan Patterson, but I can't help but think somebody like a Johnny Evans or something, maybe even to the end of the season. I remember when we were like this in the past, and I know it's going back a few years now, but people like Hugo Ekiog, sadly no longer with us, but and Davy Weir arrived, and just not even what they gave you on the pitch, but off the pitch, it was a professionalism on a daily basis, how to live your life, how to train, and just that football environment. Know how to be in that and lead people, leadership. And I just look at Johnny Evans and think, is that someone who could maybe, even for the next few months, you kind of get the feeling that Manchester United is obviously out of contract in the summer. That one, I don't think he'll stay there for much longer. But just that older experience. I think Philip Clement has spoken about youngsters coming in and developing them. Even though I think it's a bit of a myth when you look at the average age of the team, but just a few experienced ones to come in, maybe just to steady it on the pitch and round about the training centre, because there is no doubt there's a few boys kind of look lost right now, whether they don't know if they're coming or going on the pitch, and something has to change, because it's not been good enough for Rangers.
What are your thoughts on Clement, and how many players do we need to buy this winter? Let me know in the comments. In other news, Rangers keeper Jack Butland will miss Rangers' clash with Celtic after he was admitted to hospital on Hogmanay. RFC News understands the 9 times capped for England keeper was admitted with what a source describes as a significant internal bleed. The 31-year-old missed was forced to spend the night under medical care before being released today, but will not be fit to take his place in between the sticks at Ibrox. Butland, who was heavily criticised for his showing in the 2-2 Boxing Day draw with Motherwell, is understood to be devastated to have to sit out the derby. And that means summer signing Liam Kelly will take his place in nets for only his second appearance for the Light Blues since signing in the summer. Kelly, a graduate of the Rangers youth system, who took a meandering route back to the club via the likes of QPR and Motherwell, kept a clean sheet in the 1-0 win over Dundee earlier this month after Butland pulled out of the match when his wife went into labour. Talking to the media after the appearance, he said, "It felt unbelievable. I've been at Rangers a long time. It was 20 years ago that I first walked through the gates of the training centre, so that's what I've waited for the majority of my life. I'm over the moon, I got a clean sheet and a victory. That's why I signed, in case I was ever called upon." Philippe Clement has been speaking to the media ahead of Rangers' meeting with Celtic on Thursday in the Scottish Premiership. Here's everything he had to say. This was the first question. Were you surprised at the reaction to rotating your team? That's an important point. I'm not surprised that this is with fans. I'm not surprised about that because I understand that if you've never played at this level and this amount of games and it has never been done before, that you don't understand these things. If you're not an ex-player or an ex-manager, it's maybe less understandable in that way. It's very simple. Can you tell me one team in the world where a player played this season, all the games 90 minutes, and played international duties? There's not one. That's because of the amount of games and also the difference between 15, 20, 30 years ago and the intensity of the game now. It's a normal thing. I tried to explain it before the game. Maybe I didn't do it well enough, but I'm sure that this question will not be the case anymore if we go on with this amount of games in the same short time. This question will not be asked anymore in 2-3 years because everybody will say it's normal, it's normal. But now apparently that's the reason why we lost the game against Motherwell. It's not the case. And we would have maybe lost more points the next couple of months if Václav and Hamza played, or tried to play, 90 minutes, and they got injured for 2-3 months. It's not to rest them, but to see that they play less minutes in that game. That may be starting or coming on. It depends. It is a normal thing all over the world with all the clubs who play that amount of games, and with players who play international duty. With Hamza, it's also somebody who comes out of a league where he never played at this tempo. He's coping with that, and he's taking tremendous steps forward in a very short time. So that's very positive, but we have a department especially for that. These people are paid for that, to check the players every day. It's not only that, we speak with the players every day. So it was the really only sensible decision to make for this game. Would I love to start with them every game like they're playing for the moment? Yes, of course I would love to do that. So I'm not stupid to not do that. It's in the benefit of the club, of the team, and of the players themselves. Does it bother you at all that there are some people who think you're not the man for the job anymore? I don't know. I don't meet these people. I know if you don't get the results people expect a team to get, then you get criticism. That's part of the job. Everybody in the club knows what the plan is with the club and what the club had to do to become healthy first. That was a big step in the summer, to be sustainable again, and then to invest in these young players. 9 days ago, everybody saw and made the conclusion that yes, Rangers is on the right track. There are really exciting young players coming through. We spoke about that and you asked me the questions. There are teams saying, interesting player at that age, playing at that level against Tottenham and Celtic. So that's in a positive way. Does it mean now because we have 2 games where we had to chase the game because we made some mistakes that suddenly everything that was there before is totally gone? It's not the case. But I know that in my job you are always under scrutiny if the results are not at that moment what they should be. That brings us to the end of today's video. Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed it, please do hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more daily Rangers content. Thank you.